Hello there and welcome back. It's Jackie here from stampingjack.com, and now I'm here for our our fourth live session of the day today as part of our catalogue launch party. So in case you missed it earlier, we had first thing this morning we had a live catalogue walkthrough. Then we had a live crafting session with the Quiet Meadow bundle, and we made these 3 cards. Then we had a live crafting session with the Contour and Colour bundle, and we made these 3 cards. So if you missed them, you can watch them back on the replay on the Facebook page. Hi Diane, welcome back. So as you arrive, just leave me a comment so I know you're here. And then I'm just going to check my setup, make sure that everything is running. Here we go. Hi Doreen, welcome, thank you for sharing. Hi Sue. As I say, please, I would love it if you shared this video far and wide. Let's share the fun, shall we? Okay, so I hope you've all been having fun with the quiz on my page. I can see that you've all been picking your bingo numbers for tonight, so that's great. I'm so looking forward to seeing you all there. We start at 8, and I have some pretty cool prizes for you. Hi Prissy, hi Susan, thank you. So we are going to be playing with what I think seems to be everybody's favourite bundle from the new catalogue, which is the Artistically inked bundle. Now, this is paired with some absolutely stunning designer series paper, but I'm not going to play with that tonight. I'm going to play with all the designer series paper on Wednesday night in my live. Tonight I'm going to be inspired by the paper, but I'm just going to use the stamp set and the dies. So I think for a number of you that's on here, this is top of your list. Has anybody actually got it already? Has anybody played with it yet? Any ideas or thoughts? And I'm going to get straight into it because I have got 4 cards for you. So hopefully we'll get through all 4 in our hour. Right, so let's begin. Okay, so what I've done is I have gone ahead to save time and I have just stamped and die cut a number of the images. So we've got this large flower, this, I don't know what that is, like a little rose, a small flower which can also be the center for here, and then some little flowers, and then we've got some leaves. So I've just cut these out. So this is Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, so Saffron, and that's Petal Pink. So we've just cut them out in some nice subtle colours, okay, like so. And then I've stamped and die cut the leaves from Soft Seafoam. So really, really soft, subtle colour palette for this particular project, okay. And what I have is a Whisper White card base cut the long way, and then a layer of basic grey. So we're just going to go for something really, really soft today. And then I have a circle and a layer of white cardstock. I think that's... Hi Jewel, you caught us live. Welcome. I see you've been commenting, so you haven't missed too much. I'm just trying to decide which layer I want. I think it's this one. Okay, and then I need some smoky slate ink. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So I'm just going to stamp this little hello. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that on our circle. Now, you could do these in any kind of colours that you like, but I thought I fancied just a nice subtle colour palette for this one. There we go. Love that sentiment. The font is just beautiful. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just take some of these, put this away for a minute, And we're just going to build. Now, I don't think I'm going to use, I might use that, but I'm not sure. I think I might just stick with these two. Let's see. Like so. And then we've got our leaves. Okay. And then just adding bits as we go to just and then we've got these tiny little pink ones as well, so there. Okay, and I think I'm not going to bother with the big flower because I think it will be nicer like this. Yes, I think that's right. And actually I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to stamp my hello in a slightly different place. So I've got my die cut, and when you cut your dies out, they've got like a little lip on one side. So I'm just going to use my bone folder to flatten that down. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my hello closer to here, and that'll allow me to bring my flowers up and round a bit more. That's more like it. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my, what do I want? I want some ribbon. So it's going to either be my grey granite satin ribbon or my go-to ribbon, which is my white crinkle binding ribbon. But let's put our pieces together now. Okay, so I'm just going to give these a little bit of dimension before we stick them on. Okay, so we'll start with our big rose. Hi Dorothy, welcome. You just caught us just as we're getting going. For those of you who just joined, don't forget to share. Thanks, Doreen. Okay, so as I say, I use glue dots when I do this because it just allows me a little bit more flexibility. There we go, and then we're going to put our leaves. That's it. And we'll have one here. Hi Lynn, welcome, thanks for sharing. There we go, and then let's bring in some of our, a smaller one up here. Go. Okay. Some of these are teeny tiny. They are super. And you could also use them to be the center of the big flower here. Okay, ooh, let's stick that one down. I hadn't stuck it down. There we are. Make sure everything's stuck. Yep, do I want another one there? No, I think that is... yeah, I think I'm going to put another one behind here. Just to fill it out nicely. There we go. Okay, so now it's going to go there. This is a really simple card, and then I think we're going to just make our little loop like we normally do. So I'm going to put it across. Okay, so let's grab our... so when you're making cards like this, they may seem a little bit fiddly, but the best thing to do is do what I've done. Just cut a load of pieces and then just play until you're happy, and then you can stick everything down. And again with the ribbon, using plenty and just using my snail to hold it in place so that again I can just play around and make sure that I'm happy with the position. I want that to go up a little bit more. And then we're just going to pop that up on dimensionals. But before we do that, a couple of things. I'm going to wink of Stella our flowers. There you go, and our leaves. Just for some subtle shimmer. And then I'm going to grab my... hi Susan, yeah, you found me. Where were you looking? Right, so I'm just going to do some spritzing. So I've got my smoky slate marker. I'm just going to add very subtle. I'm going to hold it quite far away, so you just put the brush tip and flick it in the cap. You can do this with your blends as well. You just want a little, and then you won't be able to see it. Unlikely to, but I'm going to just spritz some Wink of Stella on there as well. And then we'll stick this down. Go, and then let's grab, just need a couple of rhinestones just to finish it off. Don't need much. There we go. Trim this end. And then we're just going to glue this down to our smoky slate layer. There we go. And then I'm going to pop this one up onto our card base. Okay, and then just to finish it off, just going to take the sort of rosy sort of shaped one and my Blushing Bride, and I am just going to just on the inside like so. So there we go, there's our first card. Super simple. So that's stamping and die cutting those flower images. Okay, there we go. So now let's move on to card number 2. So for this next card, I've got, what am I doing? Yes. So for this next card, I'm going to use this really big leaf die. I think this is gorgeous. So I've die cut this from white cardstock. And I've got a white card base like before. And then I've got a layer of Evening Evergreen and a layer of white. So we're going to do some sponging here. Okay. But first I want to stamp my sentiment. So I'm just going to grab my Evening Evergreen ink pad. Thanks for sharing, Susan. I see you've been watching some of our other videos on the catch up. So if you've missed the others today, you can do that too. This is the 4th session of the day today. So we had the catalogue walkthrough first thing, then we played with Quiet Meadow, then we had a play with colour and contour, and now we're playing with what seems to be everybody's #1 set, which is Artistically Inked. Now I'm just going to grab my colours for this are Mint Macaron, Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. And we're going to do a bit of blending if I can find my brush, which I had here. Here it is. Okay, so let's start with the Mint Macaron. Just open them all up. We were talking earlier about what our favourite in colours are, and Fresh Freesia seems to be the winner, but I'm really loving Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this is Mint Macaron, which is the lightest of our 3 colours. Okay, write that down. Oh, what fell? Now I'm going to go in with some Soft Succulent. So just tap that off before we go in. Just build this colour up gradually. And you can see it doesn't take long at all to get this ink down. Let's come back in with some Mint Macaron, blend that out. There we go. And then Evening Evergreen. We just need to be careful with this because this is quite a dark colour. So I'm just going to come in very lightly to begin with. Just build that up. There we go. Lovely. Now, doesn't need to be, don't need to worry too much about getting it super smooth because we're going to cover this up. Because what we're going to do is this. I'm going to add our leaf on here, so I think I want to make it a little bit darker up here, but not too much. So I think I'm just going to add some more Mint Macaron, and then just a little bit with whatever's left on my brush, just around the other edges, so it's not too dark. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. I'm going to use my favourite trick for sticking down intricate dies, which is to put some glue there, then bring my sponge. The key with this is to make sure that your die doesn't move around, because otherwise it will pick up the glue from the other parts of the mat. Okay, so that's fine. Don't need a lot. Let's move that to one side. Just pop that on there. There we go. And I'm not too worried if my tips are pointing up, because I like that sort of dimension in there. And then I'm just going to grab my evening evergreen ribbon, and I think I just want a bow for this one. I'm loving this ribbon in these new in colours. It's just because they're really quite vivid colours, but with this particular ribbon, I haven't decided where that's going to go yet. So, but with this particular ribbon, they're not too overpowering, which they could easily be. Okay, so now we're just going to glue this on here. So you can see with the size of this white die, it just makes the card. I mean, you could just cut this out and just lay it on some patterned paper, so it would look gorgeous on some of the patterns that are in the coordinating paper pack. Okay, and then I'm going to just glue that onto my card base. There we go. And now, let's try and get it straight. Yeah, and then let's see, where do I want it? I don't think I want a ribbon on it now that I look at it. What do you guys think? With or without the ribbon? No, I think the ribbon ruins it, if I'm honest. Let me know what you think whilst I put my ink pads away. I think what we probably need is a little bit of spritzing and a few rhinestones. What do you reckon, ladies? So let's grab, let's see, what colour should we use? I have some dark shaded, no, I'm going to use, I have some mint macaron blends. Let's just find it here. Let's Pool Party. Mint macaron. Yeah, I think everybody agrees. Yeah, ribbon just doesn't work on this, but I am going to spritz it with my mint macaron blend. Okay, it's the same as before. Just want some very subtle. There we go. There. And then let's grab a few rhinestones. There we go. That works, doesn't it? So that is a short line of ribbon under the thanks. Jewel, I would, but I've already put my thingy down. Otherwise, you're right, it would look good there if this was going over the ribbon. So to note for next time, put the ribbon on first and then lay that on top. There we go. So that's card number 2. Really simple, very, very quick. All right, now let's move on to our next card, which is, yes. So our next card is going to be using this stamp, which is this image here, okay? And I'm going to go for a monochrome look on this one. So I've got a grey granite card base, a layer of black, and layer of white to go on top. Okay, so the colors I'm going to use are basic grey, grey granite, and smoky slate. We used these colors earlier on today and they were really lovely, so I thought I would use them again. Okay, and now I'm going to use that thanks again. If I can see it, here it is. Okay, so like before, I'm going to stamp my sentiment first so that I've got it for placement. So I'm going to stamp it in basic grey. No, I'm going to stamp it in grey granite. No, basic grey. See, I'm second guessing myself. It happens all the time. I start with an idea for a project for you guys and then I get part way through it and I think, change my mind. Which is why you guys always are great for helping me out. Okay, so let's just make sure we got that inked up nicely. I'm going to put this in the top right corner. And no, I was right the first time. I want grey granite. Isn't it lucky that our card has two sides? There we go. Okay, so now we've got our three. I'm going to start with the basic grey. Okay, let's make sure there's nothing on there. Okay, I'm just going to ink up and stamp in the corner here. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp here. And then just come around the corner like so. Okay, don't need to worry about being too precise. It's the whole point of this image. Okay, so then we're going to come in with our grey granite to lay that down like so. Okay, and then put some here so you can see that I'm double stamping as well, just to get extra coverage. Okay, and then finally I'm going to come in with our lightest colour, which is our smoky slate. Okay, so here we go. And there we have it. Okay, again, super simple. So this would make a lovely masculine thank you. So now let's see. Yeah, I'm going to add some ribbon to this. Okay, so let's grab our snail, which is here somewhere. Everything is here somewhere. Okay, and then I'm going to tie, not a bow, but a knot, because this is, as I say, this is kind of a masculine looking card, so I don't want to make it too feminine. So just a knot, and again, if you're bow impaired, this is a great way to get that look on your cards without actually having the faff of trying to tie bows and knots, because that can be a pain. There we go. And I'm going to do a bit of spritzing on this one as well. Pick up my grey marker again. I'll put it back. That's why I can't find it. Okay, so again, just a little bit. Like so. And then we'll glue this down to our black. I think the black layer really just makes it all pop nicely. But this is one of those stamp sets where you've just got to play and get inky and experiment and just try stuff out. It's not precise, which means it's very forgiving. But you can see, and again with this, I've done it in quite masculine muted colours. You could do this in all sorts of other kinds of colours and mixes of colours. So there we go. But you can see, really, really simple. I think sometimes what happens with them, sometimes with stamp sets like this, they can just be a bit intimidating because with an image like that, it can just be a bit, oh, what exactly am I going to do with that now? It can be a bit tricky. So there you go. So what I tend to do when I've got stamp sets like these to play with is I just cut a load of panels of white and just ink and stamp and mess around until I get something that I like. So there we go. And then I'm just going to, on the inside, take our grey granite, just stamp that along the edge. Like so. So there we go. That's card number 3. Now, let's give you a moment to catch up. I think you're a bit behind me. So whilst you catch up, I will tidy up. Make a bit more room for myself, ready for our final card. Oops. Okay. So for this last card, we're going to go bright. Well, kind of subtle bright. I've got Daffodil Delight, Pool Party and Calypso Coral. Now I used these colours on Wednesday in my live to make this card. And I really liked them, so that's what I'm going to do it again. Okay, and we're going to do one of my favourite things, which is black and white with a pop of colour. Again, just makes it really, really easy to just play. So we've got these layers, and then I'm going to do a bit of heat embossing. So I'm just going to grab it with white. Here we go. Okay, whoop. Pardon me. Okay, so now we're going to play with the big flower image. Okay, and then I'm going to also keep hold of this one to fill in if I need to. All right, so let's start with our Calypso Coral. Okay, so put these 2 pieces to one side. So we're just going to ink up our flower like so, and then just stamp kind of just hanging off the edge slightly. Like so. Isn't that a beautiful image? I mean, it's a flower, but I'm not using it as a flower. We'll see in a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to go for the Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to overlap just slightly, not a lot. There we party. And again, I'm just going to overlap that ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, isn't that fun? Now I'm going to take this little image because I don't want these gaps in the middle. So I'm just going to use it to cover them up. Just stamping off. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to bring in our piece of black. Whoops. Are you still with me, guys? I haven't seen any comments for a little bit, so let me just check. If you're still with me, just say hi, so I know. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Alright, so we're going to bring our little strip of black and we're going to use the happy birthday sentiment. Again, I love the font on this. Oh, you're all here. Great. Thank you. Wasn't sure. You never can be with these things. I'm talking to myself. Oh. Right, so let's ink this up with our Versamark. Let's see if we can get it straight on our piece. Yep, that should do it. And then and our white embossing powder. Let's pop that on. Yeah, Susan, this is just, as I say, it's a floral set, but it's not a floral set. You could use it for so much. If you liked to create texture, I think you could create great camouflage from this. I think you could create great skies with this, and then just great backgrounds. I mean, you've seen the paper, I presume. We all were just having a moment with it earlier on this morning when I was showing it. It's just scrumptious, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so just letting my heat gun warm up a little, and now look at this happy birthday. It's just beautiful. It'd be great for masculine cards, this. Whole stamp set of splats, Diane. Well, do you know what? This is probably about as close as we can get to a whole stamp set of splats. It's not far off. You're concentrating hard, Prissy. Okay, that's good. Right, so I'm to use now. This is retired, but we have another punch which we could use instead. But this happens to be on my desk, so I will use this. Go. Okay, and now let's bring our bits back in. Where's my base? Oh, here it is. So again, just really, really simple, beautiful. Look at that. Let's bring some Wink of Stella. Okay, and then just making sure to clean off a little in between so I don't transfer the colour from one to other. Okay, there we go. And then I think we've spritzed on every other card, so let's do this one as well. Okay, but I'm going to do it from quite far away because I want it, this is my basic black, because I want it quite subtle. So I'm holding it probably about a foot away from my card. There we go. That's all I want. Now I'm going to pop this up using my black dimensionals. So like I said to you before, this was my absolute number one, had to have in the catalogue when it came out. And when it wasn't available for pre-order, I have to say I was pretty disappointed. But now that I have it, I knew I would, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And now we're going to use our matte black dots. Just... need a bit more putty in my tool. Go. There we are. Now the dilemma, where do I put the other one? Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave it. I know I normally do 3, but I'm going to leave it at 2. Okay, so now we'll just glue this down. To our black. So again, you could change this up. You could use subtle colours. You could use much brighter colours. You could go for a monochrome look. It's entirely up to you, depending on your preferences. And I'm going to pop this up. My dimensionals. So I think what I have to say, when I started playing with this bundle, I actually struggled. I was mentioning it earlier today because I just had too many ideas and I didn't know where to start. I don't know, does anybody else have that problem, especially with a new stamp set? There we go. And of course, because we did the pre-order and I had quite a lot to play with, it gets difficult to just focus in on quite exactly what we want to do. So there we go. That's our final card. Let me bring back in the others because now it's that time. It's time for you guys to vote on what your favourite is. So let's bring them back in. So there was card number 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so let me know which one is your favourite. Okay, and whilst you do that, I'm just going to clear some space. Now, I haven't used this die, but I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Look at that, like this over a sponged background. It'll look gorgeous sponged itself. Cut it out of gold foil or vellum will be beautiful. So again, like I said, there's half a dozen things just with that bit. So Lynn says 4, 3, 1, 2. Cool. What else have we got? So if you haven't already done so, make sure, Diana's the same, make sure to sign up and give me your bingo numbers that you want to play with tonight. So bingo is at 8 o'clock. We will have, I think, 3, maybe 4 rounds of bingo, and in between we will have more crafting. So I've got some projects ready for you from some of the other bits and pieces from the catalogue. Ooh, thumbs up and hearts. Thank you so much. Prissy loves 2 and 4. So as I say, all you've got to do is in the comments, I've got a pinned post which calls for bingo numbers. So make sure to just leave your 5 numbers between 1 and 25, and then join me back here at 8 o'clock. So Sue says 3, 4, 1, 2, different order. Join me back here at 8 o'clock and we'll have some more crafting fun. But I am off to grab a bite to eat now, and I will see you back here at 8 o'clock. So thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you later. Bye.